In this video, I'm going to be turning an old barrel that we had laying around the yard into something that we could use to make some charcoal for our barbecue. Now, I don't want you to think that I know exactly what I'm doing, because I did very minimal research on this and just kind of started cutting and welding and hope for the best in the end. Whenever I'm building something out of metal, I like to keep all my scrap pieces organized so I know where everything is. By the time that I started welding the legs on, I think even halfway through it, I realized something didn't look right, so I just ripped it all off and tried something different. The little bit of research I have actually done for this, everybody was using oak or cherry or apple. So I did have a dead standing cherry tree beside the shop, so I just managed to cut that down and block it up into some chunks. So since basically this is just a trial run, I've never done this before, I only had the 20-pound propane tank. So I'm going to fill that up with chunks, and then I'll put the lid back on. I'll probably just tack weld it on for now. And then if this actually works out the way I'm hoping that it does, I'll probably get a 30-pound tank or even a 100-pound tank to fit inside the barrel. But I got to plug that hole up. I might just put the valve back in and we'll see. But I guess we'll start filling it up with wood chunks. So I'm going to start with some pine. I got it wrapped all the way around the back of the propane tank. And then once that starts burning, I'm going to cut up some of this cherry and some of this maple, and I'll get that packed in there as tight as I can, and we'll let her go. Woo! That's starting to get pretty hot, so I'm going to leave that for maybe half an hour. I'll come back over, and then then we'll put these cherry chunks in there. They're about 2 feet long. And see if I can pack them in there nice and tight and put the lid on it and let it do its thing. We're at the 3.5 hour mark, so I'm going to turn the propane tank. I'll put it upside down just in case some of it's not fully charred inside. So this went for about 4.5, 5 hours, and I don't think I would go any longer next time. Once I got it open, I was so surprised of how little there was in there. So now that I know this works, I'm probably going to get a 100-pound propane tank and put it horizontally inside the barrel, or fill the barrel right up with all the wood chunks and then get a fire going around it. Now it's definitely worth the savings you get from not having to buy a bag of charcoal. I think it's $15, and this took me all day, and I got enough to have one barbecue. I don't necessarily find that to be a bad thing. I guess when you're enjoying what you're doing, it really doesn't matter what you're saving or costs in the end. As soon as the charcoal was in the open air, it didn't take long for it to start lighting up again. So I guess when I go to do a big batch, I'll definitely have to keep the lid on it for about 24 hours till it's definitely out. I decided using one of our chickens that we raised last year would be a good way to test it out. Just a little salt and pepper, just so we could see what the cherry wood really does to the meat. I would definitely call this a success. I think next time I'm going to be filling the barrel with the wood chunks and getting a big fire going around it.